AJ and Mo to give us their thoughts on this game. Welcome to the show, gents. I'm going to go to Mo first of all. I want to ask both of you about the penalty to begin with. Was it a penalty, or were the VAR right to overturn it based on the fleeting rule that's been out all year?
Absolutely, it's a dive. It's a dive. It's 100% a dive. If the referee gets a good look, and that's what VAR is there for, to just see if it's a dive or not, and it's clearly a dive. Ashley Young is a cheat, and he's always been a cheat, even though he played for my club. He's always been a cheat, even when he played for Man United. He goes on hard. By the way, Ashley Young should have had a red card. He had a foul that is worthy of a yellow card on halfway line on Dorgo, and then he had another one on Dorgo on Garnacho, who should have had another yellow card, and the referee was lenient with him. He was definitely should not have been on the pitch, and the referee should have went back and give him another yellow card. And by the way, I'm just going to say this again. We have seen this before. When the referee goes to VAR, he had the authority to go back and give a yellow card. Ashley Young should have had a second yellow for that dive. It's a clear dive on a very minimal pull. We have seen this pull every game, and we have seen it in every corner. We have seen it in every play. Every tumble in the 18 is not a penalty. He literally dives for this one. If it's given against my team, I would absolutely be fuming. Yes, Maguire put his hand on him. Yes, De Ligt maybe took the shot, but he really dived about a second later, and it should have been a second yellow, and he should have been sent off. That is my opinion on the penalty.
Mate, listen, I appreciate your honesty on that, and I weren't even focused on the dive. I think the dive is what absolutely makes the referee's mind up.
Thank you.
But KJ, I want to ask you about it. Whether or not you think it should be for a pull or not, because I'm very clear that I think those pulls are fouls because you delay a player. Why do you think everybody is forgetting about the precedent that's been set all year about the fleeting pulls, where we have seen all season commentators, pundits, journalists, Howard Webb say fleeting pulls will not be given? Why are we all suddenly forgetting that that's the biggest reason for this not being awarded today? You're on mute, bro.
Personally, I think when's the last time we've seen a fleeting pull come into conversation as a reason why someone didn't get a decision? I think what people would tend to do is forget what happens in the season, depending on what's going on. You know, I think it's been too long since a fleeting pull has been an issue, so people forget that it's been said. And now it's like, wait, when has this ever happened before? Well, it happened against West Ham and Chelsea towards the start of the season. It's been happening throughout the season. So yeah, we just forget the rules as fans because we just want what we want in the moment, you know, and we don't really think about the actual agenda that they've been set the entire season, especially depending on who it's against. Like if that was Man United, let's flip the script. If that's Man United, I guarantee everyone says dive. That's all I know.
Bruno Fernandes. Just think about it. If it's Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah, if that's Bruno in the box, getting a little tug, and he goes over like that, people saying it's a dive and not a pen. Because again, because it's for Man United, we want to chat about saying it's corruption and that. It is. I will say this though, VAR should have showed him the other angle. So then, if the referee says it's a pen or not a pen, no one can complain about VAR. They gave him all the information to reassess his decision. He then chose his decision, and then we move on with the game because that's what VAR was supposed to be for, right? So yeah.
Well, on that though, Tom Darby here. So on that, Tom Darby here says, "No, Terry, you're wrong because it wasn't a clear and obvious error." The problem is here, and even with what you're saying, KJ, to an extent, is how can any of us make that assertion? We don't know what they've been because we're not privy right now to what was said. How do we know whether it was a clear and obvious error? Or you don't know, Tom, whether there was or wasn't a clear and obvious error because we don't know what they've told the ref and what the ref said back. We have absolutely no idea. And this is the problem with people is normally, this is what's crazy. When I come on here and say Arsenal have been robbed, or I do a show where I say Liverpool have been robbed, nah, you're simping. Suddenly now, everyone's like, nah. Suddenly now, everyone's sort of having the opposite view. I've been saying it all fucking year. We have no idea what a clear and obvious error is because they don't tell us. So for me, maybe they'll say actually it was a slight pull, but maybe it was a dive that made all the difference. And the referee said, yeah, in real time, I didn't think it was a dive. I thought it was a harder pull. Well, that would make it for me. If someone says I thought the pull was so significant and powerful, it made the player lose his footing. Then you watch it back and you see it's literally this, and then he throws his legs back. That's a clear and obvious error. But Tom, you can't say whether it was or wasn't, nor can I. And as a certainty until we hear what's going on. So it's a crazy thing to say. What we do know is that because it was Man United that benefited, suddenly blaming referees is going to become fashionable. Where normally what we're told, it's about why is it not? Why am I not seeing in the comments from you guys? I'm keeping the same energy, by the way. I think these should all be fouls. Why are we not seeing in the comments? Everton have got to take accountability. Everton threw away a 2-0 lead. Talk about their performance. Talk about their accountability. Where has that gone? But funny that, isn't it? Speaking of accountability in performances, KJ, United were 2-0 down. Poor first half, but we came back into the game. What do you think the difference was that helped United take a sort of create a bit of a cornerstone in the match and come back the way we did?
I've said it before, and I think many people have mentioned it. AG, Rhino, like yourself, everyone's mentioned it before. Being Man United, it's literally just confidence. We score a goal, and apparently we can play football. Apparently we can keep the ball, we can pin a team back, and go on and score goals. And that's the frustrating thing about Man United. Where was that last part of the game? Just do that at the start of the game. Then no one's going to complain then. No one can complain if you're playing like that. You're playing, you've got your foot on the ball, you're passing it around, you're making passes, making opportunities. No one can complain then if the opposite team score, because you know what, sometimes you do everything and the team just do something better than you. That's fine. But countless times we've seen halves like we saw in that first half, and then we somehow get a goal, great free kick from Bruno, and apparently the lights turn on. Someone's at home and they can start playing football again. And this team needs to sort that out. I don't know what Ruben Amorim has to do that. They went on team bonding like the week just gone. They went out together to have fun. They've been training together all week. So I don't know what this manager has to do in the game when they're playing to make them believe that they can do what they're doing. That I don't know.
Yeah, no, listen, I do agree with you. As you say, it's this element of as soon as we scored, there was adrenaline pumps through them. They're winning their tackles. They're winning their second balls. They're passing and moving the ball well. For me, this is when I talk about it for years. I know we need to increase the ceiling of the floor, even of the technical ability in the team, but the lack of work rate, the lack of desire, and I think a lot of that stems some of it's laziness, some of it's players that know maybe they don't have a future. I think so much of it is a lack of belief that they have in themselves. And yeah, how you turn that around so quickly, I don't quite know. This here from Jay, he says, Terry, Everton have more than quadrupled your XG today. You have no logically ruled out the problem is the system issue. That's clearly pure cope.
It's not pure cope because look at the goals today. You're telling me it's a system issue that Maguire can't head a ball before another opposition player. You're telling me it's a system issue that Man United can't clear the football after winning the ball after a corner. You're going,
I'm going to explain to you. I'm going to explain to you. Go ahead. Finish your point. Finish your point.
You can say maybe how the opposition teams get to build upon United. That's a system issue. You can say how we build up from the back is a system issue because I feel like it is actually too easy to press and it puts us in danger. I can have that conversation. But when we look at the game as a whole, you look at the goals we conceded, it wasn't because we got cut through. It's because our players had lacked mentality, lacked responsibility, and sliced the ball when clearing, being lackadaisical on the ball, lackadaisical when defending. Because Terry, how many goals have we conceded from defenders watching the rebound and being like, oh, offside. Oh no, we've lost the ball out again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, go on, Mo. What's your response to that?
Okay. So just to respond to this, yes, Maguire was slow. Yes, was Onana slow. But if you look at this goal, KJ, the team is standing wrong. There was so much space behind. The line was wrong. There was no offside created. Maguire stepped up and no one else stepped up with them. That is a system. That is a training ground issue.
Surely that's
a training ground thing. When you have the line not straight and one of the players step up and the other ones, that's called the system. That's called training. That's called practice. That is called cohesive. That comes from the training ground. You see when Aston Villa step up and they are the team that you get my point, right? That's come from Unai Emery. That's not the players though. That is Unai Emery keep training and practicing that offside line. In that second goal, you looked at the last phase of that goal, but you never looked at the first one where the guy was running 2-on-1. That is because the midfield is not standing right. The defense is not standing right. Harrison was inside, and where was Mazraoui on the other side of Harrison? Yeah. That is what I call a system issue.
So I understand that, but also the reason why for that second goal we were caught out is Bruno rushes a pass into Rasmus, who hadn't made the run early enough. The ball is then also overhit, so we lose possession. But as we've played that ball forward, we're trying to attack. And what we need so our fullback push forward, people have stepped into attacking positions, and then Bruno rushes the pass and we lose possession. So then we're out of shape. What I think would be ridiculous analysis is to act like when you're caught out, when you lose possession, when you're in the middle of an attacking phase, that you're then at that exact moment with one quick ball being played in behind, you're all going to be in the perfect defensive shape as well. But I do hear where you're coming from. We need to improve. But I feel that these improvements come with better players or better players for the system. And so I think there is some criticism on the manager. At the same time, this is a massive player issue for me in a lot of this, which people want to ignore. You think about the second goal, it got to the goalie, it was saved. Maguire just standing there looking at it to land as an example. It's no awareness of what's around him. No awareness whatsoever. Because what he would have got away with, because defenders do, is if he'd have looked and seen Decore coming, all he's got to do is step back, stick his body and arse into him so that he can't get over it, and then the ball gets picked up by the goalkeeper. These little mistakes also don't help us. Yes, and they created some chances, some good balls into the box towards the end of the game, which helped their XG. But most of their XG to that super chat came in the first half. They had 0.53. That's because both their goals were basic tap-ins from where they are, and we've criticised that as an example. But for me, we need such better players in this system.
Can I have say just about this?
Yeah. I'm
sorry, guys. Okay, so I was watching the Arabic commentators and the people that speak Arabic that watch us. You guys, this was so different that the Arabic commentators were being sports than the English ones and the Spanish ones. They call it as they see it. They don't have this what you guys call the professionalism and like being neutral and stuff. So Hafiz Daragi, if you guys don't know, is one of the biggest commentators in the Arab world, in the whole MENA region. Mm-hmm. He was saying that when I'm watching Man United, especially in the first 55 minutes, the 60 minutes that Terry mentioned, and I want Man United fans to hear that. It's very important. He's saying, how can Man United be standing on the pitch, not knowing how to pass, how to attack, how to defend, why there is not even one attempt, now I'm not saying on target, one attempt for 40 minutes in that first half. And he was saying, I'm watching Amorim and I see, what's his name, Ten Hag with hair. He's like, there has to be something to be done about this. That's not my word. The people that watch the Arabic content know exactly what I'm talking about. Let me, go ahead.
Okay, go on. No, I hear your point.
That last point of it. And I'm like, if Man United are 2-0 down, with all due respect to Everton Football Club and David Moyes, I cannot wait until minute 70 for the adrenaline rush for Man United to start playing football. Once Man United go 1-0 down against whatever team in the bottom half, I'm not saying Man City or Arsenal or Liverpool, I'm expecting Man United to be at least trying to press, trying to get the ball, have energy.
So I agree. So I agree, right? I agree with what I want. I just think we're looking at a different person to blame. I don't think the manager isn't asking them to and coaching them to and telling them to. I think there's a reluctancy. And I think I'm not going to say that every player is suffering with the same issue because that would be ridiculous. I look at Delo as an example. Now that his job is to defend and to attack like he's a winger, this is someone that when he was a fullback who got involved with the attack every now and then, it was a different type of pressure. I don't think he's handled the pressure of his role and responsibility in this system well enough as an example. So I think his lack of ability to handle the pressure has done for him. I look at Cass, who's playing today more so due to injury. I think his body doesn't allow him to do it as an example. I think someone like Rasmus is just completely lacking any sense of confidence in his overall game whatsoever as an example. I think there are players out there that know I'm maybe coming to the end of my time at the football club. You know, Onana. I know he's made mistakes before, but I think he knows my time's cooked. So I think there's an element here, whether it's subconscious or not. I think there's all these little things, which is why it was going to take a long time to fix us. The reason why I'm not going to turn completely on the manager, I'll offer criticism, but I won't turn on him, is this. Everything we're saying now about what our players should be doing, we've said it about all the previous managers. And I feel the one thing we haven't done is create a style of football, or pick a style of football, build a complete squad that is suited to that style of football, and then seeing how it looks. We do what we're doing now, but it's just come earlier because of the way that the squad has almost rejected this way of playing, whether it's on purpose or not, is that we're already going, right, it has to be the manager. And I'm not saying the manager doesn't make mistakes. I'm not saying that he shouldn't be criticized. But for me, going 7th time on the bounce, it's not the players again. I don't know. I think it's the fact we've got a Frankenstein squad and all of these issues. But I do get the point that you raised.